At it. A beautiful, balmy 72 degrees out here on this Monday morning of the 21st century. Um, yeah, it's been a weird couple of days, of course. They're wrapping up the filming over there. I think they're pretty much done over on Axminster. Word is they're going to Bristol this week for Doctor Who filming. Um, of course, speculation, rumor, and all that has gone crazy and gone abound. Um, but from what I'm seeing of what they've done with the Wraiths, very, very cool the way they've got these aliens set up, how they're walking around and all that. There's countless videos and pictures of this all over the DWSR hashtag if you want to go take a look for yourself, all right? Yep, I spent the last few days basically baking my brain out, sitting back, relaxing, because there wasn't nothing more to tell you other than what we already knew. I was posting as much as the filming stuff and all that as I could over on the Dr. Freedom Facebook page. So if you're not a member over there, go over there and sit and look. Um, Half the time there won't be a spoiler warning. I just usually just share whatever I already see that's already been posted. So by the point I share it or post it, it's already all over Facebook at that point, or all over Twitter, one. So be wary if you do go sign up over there, all right? Um, I'm a couple of things I just want to talk about real quick this morning. Somebody actually had this. Get ready for this. Now these are RTD aliens. No, they're not. The Meeps and the Wraiths and all that are out of the comic books. Yeah, that they are not RTD creations. Yeah, the Meeps, the Meeps, the Wraiths, and all that are out of the comic book things back in the day. A lot of people don't know that for a while, if I remember correctly, the Doctor was a Marvel character. There was a Doctor Who Marvel comic, but that was long ago past. That's long ago gone. Otherwise, you could say technically that the Avengers are actually part of the Hooniverse, but that's a whole lot of stuff we won't go into. Okay. Um, Abodes of the Moronic. The reason why I added this on is because somebody over the course of the weekend, just to be quick, yeah, they do fit RTD's alien designs, but he didn't create them. Nor did he create the ones you're seeing on screen. Those are your visual effects artists who create those. And but I'm just saying, don't say they're his creations because they're not. Just like I said, I do this a lot. Don't worry. It's just because a lot of people were running around for a while screaming that Jack, what do you call it? God, Captain Jack Harkness was a Moffat character. No, he wasn't. He was created by RTD. It's just he was put into those Moffat stories about back when he first appeared. Um, he goes into this in the Writer's Tale, which I still highly recommend that you read. If you ever get a chance. A lot of stuff it shows you what happened, when it happened, things like that. It was a very good read as well. I really enjoyed reading the book. So, but yeah, the reason why I'm saying that is just for clarification, not to be mean, not to be evil, but like I said, it is cool that he's going into the comic books to bring these guys onto the screen. They're not his creations. I just want to make sure everybody knows that. I can't remember which artist and all that, and was in charge of the comics. I have to go look it up. Who wrote the things with the Meeps and all that. You guys can Google it. We have access to a World Wide Web. We have the technology. Now, the reason why I'm saying Abodes of the Moronic has nothing to do with Doctor Who. Okay. Somebody posted literally this, one of these classic novel long comments on one of my videos for the parking lot where I talked about Putin invading the Ukraine, about how, well, the U.S. did this in 2014, we overthrew the illegitimate government and blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. And that Nazis took over. Yeah, mentioned the word Nazis multiple times in one comment. Sorry, that meant that comment was gone. I'm sorry, I will not. If you're blaming Nazis and all that for the fact that Putin is actually the good guy riding into the Ukraine with a white hat on and a Long Ranger mask to save us all from communism, you can take that and shove it straight up your ass. If there had actually been any type of hanky-panky foul play and all that happened back in 2014, it should have been done back in 2014 when the Ukraine was still part of the Soviet, states. Don't sit back there and wait until they're about to join NATO and then say, oh, well, we're using this excuse. It's bullshit. There was no reason, and I don't care who's in charge of what government, there's no reason for men, women, and children to be murdered unnecessarily, and I stress the word murdered, because you got a boner about the fact that the country next to you that used to be one of yours is going to join someone else's side. And then, I can't believe how many people are posting this propaganda, which came straight off the Russian news networks, as fact. Folks, we didn't have to intervene or anything in that day and age. It was already in the process of happening. Communism failed, and it failed big. I'm sorry, but you can't sit there and claim you're spreading everything equally when you've got guys sitting there in the Politburo and mansions and shit like that. Meanwhile, you got people lining up for toilet paper in the streets. You got guys riding around in the equivalent of limos while people can't even afford a fucking bicycle. So there went my monetization. So please, don't sit there and justify to me how, Putin is the good guy. He's a moronic 2-bit jackass just like anybody else that gets into high office who has to wiggle his wiener to show everybody how big it is every now and then. Saber rattling, I call it wiener wiggling. Because that's all it is. I think George Carlin said it best if you go look up some of his routines on it. But like I said, nothing infuriates me more than that. The fact that you're backing a guy who just one day woke up and said, well, the other guys are joining NATO, we better put a stop to that. Or the European Union as well, if I remember right. That was one of the other big things, was that Ukraine was about, petitioning to join the European Union. And all of a sudden, whoop, we got to invade. There's communists. There's weird. Well, wait a minute. We were the communists. They're Nazis. Yeah. Thank you very much for that quote. The people, alter the facts to fit the views instead of altering the views to fit the facts. And like I said, it just upsets me when, somebody's on this mile-long rant about this, and I'm like, were you there in 2014 when this all allegedly happened? Because, all right, see, the thing is, like I said, I just believe the evidence of my eyes, my ears, and like I said, just be very careful what you look at and listen to. But I'm sorry about that rant, folks, but that's been coming for a while, especially since I read that comment last night. I'm like, you're supporting the unwarranted invasion of a country where we're sitting there watching men, women, and children hiding in shelters like back in the day, and it's like, ugh. Okay, might as well save some gasoline. Because in a few more minutes, I'm going to be getting up and heading out anyway, so there's no reason. I just realized I had the motor running this whole time. I'm like, why? Plus, it is kind of humid out here this morning, but yes, it is Beep the Meep, who's out of the comic books, along with the Meeps adversaries, the Wraiths, which, if you look around, there's some really good videos of them, and The way they've done the walking and all that is reminiscent, like they've got probably got the actors in stilts in the costumes. So I apologize for that part in the middle, folks, but just want to make sure that's why I had Abodes of the Moronic. It had nothing to do with the universe. It was just things that happen in real life. People were saying, I'm like the guy next to me who backed his car into this spot and yet obviously has no idea how to properly back a car because I had to scoot my car over because even though I'm well within the lines of the parking space I'm in now, I'd have basically been, second I opened my door, I'd been banging it into the back of their truck. And I'm like, it's like if you don't know how to back it in, then don't. Um, Me, I don't drive pickup trucks because I suck at it. But okay. But yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to clarify. Yeah, the Meeps and the Wraiths are not creations of RTD. They're out of the comic book series. It looks like we're possibly doing. Also, there's an article out on the Mirror about this, and it is by Nicola Methvin, but it's discussing a lot of things we've already discussed. About there's going to be a series of specials. There's possibility of a Christmas special this year, or in which there will be one next year, which introduces Shudigatwa. It's either that or the first special will be like New Year's Day, and then the other one will be spring, and then stuff like that. Yeah, and then the last one will be fall for the 60th anniversary, with the possibility of, like I said, we don't know if there's going to be another special next year or not. But let's just remain optimistic, because we know RTD is going to want to take back Christmas Day. All right, I don't fault them on that, but the problem is if you think Doctor Who's getting weird ratings now, put it back on Christmas Day, where it was being buried by all right, I gotta turn the ignition off or start engine. Oh no. See, that's what I love about these futuristic things. You're going to try to turn the radio on, aren't you? No, I'm busy with that. Oh. At least now, if I accidentally leave the car on, it'll turn itself off after about 15 minutes. Plus, it's so humid out here that my window's already steaming up, and I'm not doing anything heavy duty here in the parking lot, other than ranting like a madman. But okay. All right, now once again, just to refresh you, they're finished up in Axminster Road. Apparently, filming has moved over to Bristol this week, and we're waiting for reports on that. If you want to go look for yourself, remember #DWSR. If it's your first time using that hashtag, you're going to probably have to do a lot of muting and blocking, because there were groups of people out there for the longest time who said it was their devout patriotic duty to spam the hashtag to prevent spoilers and all that getting out. It's like, it doesn't work. A, B, there's always going to be people going to filming. C, you're just being an a-hole at this point. It's like you're doing it not for the sake of the show, you're doing it for the sake of being a dick. It's that simple. Oh, well, monetization's gone on this baby, because it's kind of weird how they ask you all these weird questions when you go live on, or go do a video on the PC version of your YouTube. Yet when I do it on the phone, they don't ask a single question. You just hit monetization on. And then later on, they'll try to stick a report on you and I have to lie and say there ain't nothing wrong with it. Meanwhile, you've got, you've got reactors who are sitting there shouting the F word every other word, but because they have a nice little 100K subscriber award sitting next to them, they're never subject to that. Their monetization is never marked down. Now, I'm not doing it primarily for the money and all that, but I'm just saying, the principle of the thing is they've already made it tougher and tougher for smaller YouTube channels to even get to monetization stage. Yet, meanwhile, you've got people sitting there, who've been on here for years, who can't get anywhere, but because every time they do anything, boom, they're slapped to the copyright strike. Meanwhile, you've got certain channels sitting there running almost entire movies that are there for years. But because they've come up with all these nifty tips and tricks to get around it, and literally YouTube has gotten so big, there's no way for them to get to monitor everything manually. It's literally, it's impossible now. Well, folks, I have ranted and raved too long. So please take care of yourselves and each other. Be kind, be calm, be safe. Now you see, when I see Jerry there running in this early in the day, before 5 till 6, he's going to try to G-code out. Watch. No, okay, but you don't know about any of that. So let's get out of here. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Hopefully we'll see you all in the future. Take care, everyone.